Good morning, everyone. We are in our tropical rainforest building, and I'm Caitlin, and I have Rachel with me helping to film. And we are in with one of our sloths today because it is International Sloth Day. So we of course have to highlight some of our sloths. So I'm going to give her some food here so she doesn't leave us. So if anyone knows, because I know we have some sloth lovers that have hopefully followed all of our sloth zoo to use, because we have seen our sloths at Stone Zoo and we have seen our other sloth, Molasses, here at Franklin Park Zoo. And now we have, this is a fifth sloth, believe it or not, and she lives in our tropical rainforest building where we are in today. So if anyone has come to Franklin Park Zoo and knows the name of this sloth, please put it in the comments, and we're gonna get back to that in just a second. And then as we're going, if you have any questions about these sloths, our sloths at the zoo or sloths in general, please put them into the chat. So she is getting some food. And from some of the other lives, you probably know some of the food that these sloths enjoy to eat. So right now, what I'm giving her is honestly a whole variety of different foods. You may have seen that last one, which was a sweet potato. This one right here is some blueberries, which is a special treat for her. Blueberries and grapes, and really any types of fruit are usually a special treat. And that's because they do have some extra sugar in there, and we just want to make sure we monitor the amount of sugar that she does get. Ooh, sorry, Maxine. So I'll give her another piece here. All right, and did anyone guess what this sloth's name is? I hope I didn't just give it away a second ago like I always do. Here we go. So if you had guessed Maxine, you are correct. So Maxine is our 6-year-old female. And like I said, those of you that maybe have been following our sloth videos, or if you're new to learning about our sloths, Maxine is one of 5 of our 2-toed sloths here that we have at Franklin Park Zoo and Stone Zoo. They live between the 2 zoos. So Nero and Lunesta, our parents, live at Stone Zoo, and they have had 3 babies that still live here between our zoos. So Maxine is the oldest of those siblings. And so she has her own exhibit here in the tropical forest. And those of you that have maybe visited have seen her. She's right next to Lyle the crocodile at the end of the tropical rainforest. Now the beginning, because we have a different one-way going at our zoos where you enter on the back side, for those of you that have been here many times. And Maxine is one of the first animals that you will see. And a lot of the times, she will be curled up sleeping. Some of you may have seen her, and she has a tan bucket at the front of her exhibit that she really likes to spend time in and sleep. So right now, some of you might be thinking, it is 8:45, what is she doing awake? So sloths are generally more active at night, and Maxine tends to be that way as well. But because we're here at the zoo and we're all here during the day, including all of her keepers, she is used to being up at some different times of the day. So the food I'm giving her right now is a little bit of a special treat for the morning, and then she'll get more food again at the very end. Ooh, still chewing. Very end of the day. because that's when she's going to be a little bit more active and then probably eat some of her food throughout the night. So do we have any questions that have come through about these lovely sloths?
Yeah, so Alexandra would like to know what the difference is between a two-toed and a three-toed sloth, besides the obvious, if there's any other evolutionary differences or things like that.
That is a great question. So you're right. The obvious, as you can see right here, she has two toes at the front. All sloths have three in the back. And then the three-toed have three in the front and back. Ooh. And so with the two-toed, they definitely look a little bit different. The Linnaeus and Hoffman's are pretty similar in appearance, but with our three-toed species, we have 4 different species of those, with totaling 6 sloth species altogether. And the three-toed vary in size. The pygmy sloth is the smallest and the one that is critically endangered. And then the other 3 vary in size and appearance from there. They also depend on their range as well, which is throughout Central and South America, more northern South America, but different sloths are found in different areas there. But their appearance definitely does change. So with Maxine here, you can see they have a really big nose at the front there. Our three-toed sloths have a little bit more of a kind of bandana across their eyes, and it looks like they're smiling a little bit more. So they're ones that are generally found on all of the different sloth apparel that is out and about, are generally the three-toed sloths. But Maxine is showing us a really cool feature here. Right there down the middle, you kind of see it's almost like a coming together there, and that's because their fur grows in the opposite direction than most mammals, which is stomach to back instead of back to stomach. She's getting a little high up here for us. So that is because they are, of course, as you can see, built for being upside down. So they spend almost their whole life this way and do all of their activities in this form. So a lot of people ask, is she used to being upside down? How does she do that? And that is just how they are built. She might drop this carrot on us in a minute because it doesn't look like she wants it. Let's see if she wants a blueberry again, because they do tend to like those because they're a treat. Oh, maybe she's taking it.
So we have another one.
Yeah.
Alexandra also wanted to know, what activities do they leave the trees to do?
That is another great question. And really, they want to leave the trees as little as possible. So one of those activities is going to the bathroom. Maybe we can do a swap here. Do you not want this? Oh. Is going to the bathroom. So they will come down to the base of the tree, go to the bathroom, and typically go right back up. Because for sloths, when they come down to the ground, they are extremely vulnerable. They like to be, and are generally found, very high up in the trees, in the canopy of the rainforest, so that other predators cannot see them. They're hoping to be undetected. And something that I read that I really like is they are slow, not lazy. A lot of times sloths get the rap of being lazy because they're slow, but that is a defense for them. That is how they survive in the rainforest, by being undetected. So Maxine might show us here. She might have had her fill of treats this morning. She's going to show us how she actually blends right into this exhibit. And sometimes when guests are here and she's in her tan bucket right at the front of the exhibit, people don't even see her because she's completely blended in and not moving. So that's exactly what they want, is to not be seen. Not always the best for our visitors, but the best for predators in their natural range. Did we have any other questions come in?
Yeah, so Tracy would like to know, are they typically quiet animals as you do not hear them making much noise?
Oh, Tracy, that is a great question because everyone asks that about them because they are, of course, are usually trying to be undetected. She has a very large stretch out right now, getting a big scratch in there. And so they do not make much noise at all. So really right now, the only noise that we've heard since we've been in here is her chewing. That's really the only noise that she'll make, and any noise that she's making as she moves around, but no vocalizations typically. The only time that I have really read, because I don't hear them making much noise at all, except when they maybe have a baby. So like I mentioned, Nero and Lunesta up at Stone Zoo, they are the parents, and when they've had babies, sometimes the babies will make vocalizations to find their mom. If they start exploring off on their own a little bit, mom and baby may make vocalizations back and forth to each other. And then also for mating in their natural range, they might make those vocalizations to find a mate as well. So they're calling out, because sloths are a solitary animal in their natural range, meaning they usually spend time alone, and so when they need to mate, they have to find out where that mate is. And because they don't do a lot of fast traveling, they have to use those vocalizations in order to find that mate. So since it's International Sloth Day, we did just want to mention, I know I talked about some of the threats, but for a lot of these days, it's to highlight, of course, how amazing that animal is, but also their conservation efforts. Because coming from the rainforest, of course, the rainforest is threatened because much of it is being cut down for trees or deforested. And that unfortunately leaves less habitat for a lot of our amazing species that live there. One of those being the sloth. And as we talked about, they rely heavily on being up in the canopy, in the trees, and undetected. So when they don't have that, that leads to more threats for them. So a few of those examples are that they try to cross power lines because they do not want to come down to the forest floor, and they need to be able to get across to a next spot if that area is fragmented or separated. So they will go on power lines, which can be very dangerous for them. If they do come down to the ground, there also have been a lot of reports of dog attacks, which is something new that I learned. And so those are some things that different conservation organizations are working very hard in their natural range to work to help them with. So one example of that, the power lines, they are trying to use insulated power lines so that they are covered for the sloth, so that hopefully they do not get hurt when they are potentially crossing them. And also working to help protect their habitat so that they do not have to maybe cross power lines or come down to the ground, so that they're able to have a nice big habitat so that they do not have to do that. So Maxine's finding her spot there to curl up in and probably sleep for a while. And shortly after Rachel and I are done in here, her friends who spend some time with her on exhibit during the day are our tamarins, our two cotton-top tamarins. So some of you that have come maybe have seen them in here. And that's because the tamarins are usually active during the day, and Maxine is more active at night. So they kind of share this exhibit in that way because they're active at different times. So thank you all so much for joining us for International Sloth Day and meeting our 5th member of our sloth family here at our zoos. And I'm sure we will be doing another Sloth Live shortly, maybe to update you on Siesta at Stone Zoo, our youngest sloth there. And hopefully we will see everyone soon. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.